What's goody? Hey man, so we got to talk about the Golden State Warriors, and unfortunately, this is a little bit more of a serious video. This is a little bit more of a video where I got to be a little bit more critical of things because I'm not a Warriors fan. But as a guy that is a big fan of Steph Curry, as a guy that watches a lot of basketball, that tries to keep in touch with all of basketball, especially with regards to Steph Curry, and because he's my favorite player, if not my favorite player of all time, he's my second favorite player of all time. I go back. It's Kobe. It's still Kobe, but Curry's my second favorite player of all time. So I keep tabs on what the team is doing around him. I keep tabs on what players I like. I like to keep tabs on what they're doing. I like to keep tabs on what the team is doing. I like to keep tabs on how what their team is doing around them and what the fan base kind of feels like around them as well. And for years now, even before the Jimmy Butler trade, Warriors fans have been asking for the Warriors to make a move. You've been on one of two camps as a Warriors fan and as a basketball watcher. If you've been an avid enough watcher to even understand the situation, you're on one of two camps when it comes to the Warriors. Go all in to give Stephen Curry everything he wants and give him a chance for another championship, or stash those draft picks and play for the future the way that the reports claim that the ownership and the management team is doing. I have always been very vocal about being on the side of Steph Curry is your franchise GOAT. Without him, this franchise damn near might not even exist anymore. It might have moved by now. Without Steph Curry, this franchise is nothing. Without Steph Curry, you are much broker if you are Joe Lacob than you are. You have to go ahead much more broke. Much broker is crazy. Much more broke than you actually are if it's not for Steph Curry. Obviously he's not broke at all, but you understand what I'm saying. He does not. He misses out on billions of dollars of revenue if it's not for Stephen Curry and everything that he did for that franchise. So I am always going to be in the camp of, hey, you have that guy, you go all in, you do everything you can to give him the team, to give him the best possible chance of winning a championship. Because they didn't do that, because they sat on their hands with Brandon Pajimski and with Jonathan Kuminga and with Moses Moody and with all these other guys who we thought might have even some type of value throughout the NBA, because they made bad moves with Jordan Poole and they made bad moves with regards to all these other guys, and because they paid Jimmy Butler $60 million, they were in this hole where now we're looking at it and we're like, damn, no matter what moves they do make, unless they can find a way to trade Jimmy, it's not really going to do anything for us to be looking at them like, oh, are they going to be one of the top five teams out west? We're not going to be looking at them like that because we didn't really feel like, we felt like they had already pigeonholed themselves to the point where now it was getting to the point where it was too late. Jimmy Butler last night tore his ACL. Get well soon, Jimmy Butler. I hope you start to feel better. I hope you make a full recovery. I hope you come back even better than the player you were. I always hate to see a player get injured, especially a guy at his age, because it's always tough to come back from such a tough injury like that again, especially at that age. But prayers up to Jimmy Butler. I should have started this video with that, but man, great player, one of my favorite players, so I hate to see anybody go down with an injury like that, especially a guy like Jimmy, man. But with the Jimmy Butler injury, I think I am now a member of the camp that, well, unless, again, you can find a way for somebody to still want to trade for Jimmy, which I don't even think you can do because it's a season-ending injury, so I don't even know if you... No, you can do that. I think you can trade Jimmy even though he tore his ACL. So... Let's say you can't find a way to trade the Jimmy Butler contract for anything that's good. Like, the only way you could trade it is to get some things you don't want that kind of point towards you going towards a rebuild, and that's something you don't want to do, right? So let's say the team right now is pretty much as it is. You can't move Steph, you can't move Jimmy, you know that for a fact, and then everything else, even if you can move it, it's not going to be valuable. Well, because of that, I'm at the point now where I say, never mind. The team is going to suck. I understand. Listen, we look at things right now and they're the 8th seed, right? So we go to the Western Conference, and the Western Conference has always been tough, and this year is no exception. They're 25-19. They play against the Toronto Raptors tonight. That'll be an interesting game. They're at home, second night of a back-to-back. Coming off a big win last night, even in the game where Jimmy Butler tore his ACL. But you look at the Portland Trailblazers, who were 3 games below them, and the Clippers, who were 5 games below them, and you say, damn, yeah, that's a lot of games, but Jimmy Butler's out for the remainder of the season, and we're not even at All-Star yet. You're telling me there's no way if Steph Curry misses 2 weeks that the Warriors fall by 2 games, if God forbid Steph Curry misses 2 weeks? You're telling me that there's no way the Warriors go through a super tough stretch of games, and they just playing guys that they're playing teams where defenders have 3 different guys that can score with Steph Curry all game, and now the offense is averaging less than 105 points per game, and they're losing every single game. They're losing 7 games out of 10. You're telling me that can't happen? Because I look at their schedule right now, right? And I say, okay, in their next 5 games, Toronto, Dallas, Minnesota, Utah, with no Jimmy Butler, the Warriors already aren't a great team. Their defense isn't great. Their offense isn't good. So we can't sit here and be like, maybe they can ride the defense. We can't trust that, especially because Jimmy Butler is one of their best defenders. We don't know what's going to happen with Kuminga. I don't know if this makes them, if this kind of pushes them into making a Kuminga move or pushes them into making a Podziemski move. I don't know. But I kind of, at least with Podziemski, I kind of just see him staying at this point. So we look at this team and it's currently constructed. I can't confidently tell you they'll beat the Raptors. They'll probably they should beat the Mavericks, but the way the Mavericks did the Knicks a couple days ago, I can't necessarily say they're going to beat the Mavericks. They play the Timberwolves on two nights out of three, 2 games out of 3 nights. They probably lose both of those, both in Minnesota. They play Utah at Utah 2 nights later. They could lose that game. Utah's not a walkover team anymore. Then after that is Detroit, Philly, Phoenix, Lakers. That's probably 4 losses. You play Memphis, you never know what's going on there, but then it's San Antonio, Boston, Denver. Maybe Jokic is back by that point. Who knows? That's 3 losses right there. And then New Orleans, Memphis again, you never know. But LA, both LA teams, Houston, OKC. Those are not good, bro. And then you get 2 games after that. Minnesota, New York, skip a game. Boston, Detroit, Atlanta, Dallas, skip a game. Denver, San Antonio, Cleveland, Houston, skip a game. LA again. Dog. We're looking at their schedule for the rest of this season, and I see there's maybe 8 to 10 games where you look at that and you say, okay, they should win that game. And then there's maybe 5 more where you look at that and you say it's probably like a 60-40, 50-50 chance they win that game. And then the rest of them, you look at that like, yeah, if the other team is as healthy as they are right now today, you pick them over the Warriors with no Jimmy Butler. That's a scary sight for me if I'm a Warriors fan. Sure, I don't really think I'm going to fall outside of the play-in, because I've got Stephen Curry and the teams below us outside of Portland. Outside of Portland, and the Clippers aren't really too scary. And they're so far back that we just don't even really think that's possible. But even if you get in the play-in, I don't care if you stay the 8 seed. Let's say by some miracle you stay the 8 seed. Let's say Phoenix falls, the Lakers fall, and even if the Clippers rise up, you still are able to stay the 8 seed or something like that. I don't think that you really look at this and be like, this is still the type of team where just because we have Steph Curry, we have a chance. Sure, just because you have Steph Curry, you might be able to upset somebody, but dog, coming out of the play-in, your reward is going to be what? OKC, San Antonio, or Denver? No, I love Steph Curry, and he's one of my favorite players of all time. He's my favorite player in the NBA right now. He is one of my GOATs. He is the greatest point guard of all time, the greatest shooter of all time. I will forever hype up Steph Curry as much as I can, but to a reasonable amount, dog. Like, I'm not about to sit here and say just because they have Steph Curry, I'd realistically think about them beating OKC or Denver or even San Antonio at this point in a 7-game series come playoff time. No, I do not necessarily think I would even think about it. It would probably be like, 5, maybe 6, depending on the matchup. And it wouldn't even be a second thought. It would be like, damn, what do they do next? So now I think because of the poor management of the Golden State Warriors, I think I look at this team and I say you've pigeonholed yourself into the point where you can't do anything. Maybe you try to get off of the Kuminga thing and you try to see if you can just get some seconds or something for Kuminga, and maybe you can get a young player. Maybe you can get a guy. Maybe you can forget a young player. Maybe you can just get a guy that fits. Maybe you can just get another body, get another defender, get somebody that'll be reliable. Maybe you can do something, get somebody that'll be solid at least. But I mean, I didn't think there was anything before this injury that you could do that would get you to the point where I'm looking at you above a team like Minnesota or even the Lakers. But now I for sure I don't even think there's anything you can do to where I would get you to really like, I don't know that I would look at them over Phoenix. I don't know that I would look at them if the Clippers made it. I don't think I would look at them over the Clippers as a better team than the Clippers. This is insane, man. The Warriors, the things that they've been doing up there at the top have been extremely questionable to me over the last few years, and I think this injury just amplifies and magnifies those things to the infinite degree. Let me know what y'all feel about this. I love it. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching as always. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to keep God first as always. There was something else I was gonna say. Go Rams, obviously. Get well soon, Jimmy Butler, which I already said. And if you haven't been looking at the weather and you have a house or you have any travel to do this weekend, dog, go look at the weather, because if you're anywhere in the U.S., you might about to be getting smacked with snow or with ice. So just be safe, man. Like I said, I love y'all. All right, peace out.